Hey, Blessed Tribe, it's Coach Jess. I'm back again with another mental health motivational word. I hope you guys are having a fabulous, amazing day. I don't have a lot of battery that I'm operating on, so I'm going to do what God asked me to do, charge my computer and rest a little bit. So today is the Sabbath, okay? And I did go to church earlier, came back and started doing some laundry. I then, before I came back, I went walking for like an hour. So London was very cooperative. So I do want to encourage you because I started feeling it today, like I want to do my own thing. And God was saying it's nothing wrong with that. But when you become a parent, so this little snippet right here is for the parents. So when you become a parent, you have to, especially when you have younger, smaller kids, you have to put what you want on the back burner sometime. Because if I had it my way, I would have recorded this video in the Sheets parking lot at my normal little safe haven. Okay. So when I got here, I could just relax. I can have dinner. I can get my week started. Those type of things. But God said, whoa, push your brakes. Children, you have to go along with what they are able to handle at their age. Sometimes I feel like, I just want to do my own thing. But God said, Jessica, you decided to become a parent, okay? And with that being said, he's saying that he really cherishes children, especially his younger children. And he's saying that we really must have patience with them. I am no, superhuman person. I have emotions just like you have emotions. I be wanting to just say, go to your room, relax, sit in the back seat, chill out. Let me do my thing. Let me cook. But God said, hold it, because the children, we also have to make sure that as we are doing what God asks us to do, as we're on assignment, that we are taking time to love on them, to listen to them, and to allow them to be a part of our journey. It's not like, we just continue to work and grind and, they understand exactly what we're doing right now, depending on how mature they are in their age and the development process they're in. So your daddy is saying sometimes we have to put what we want as moms and dads. We have to put what we want on the back burner and kind of adjust our schedule a little bit and be more flexible. Because I had to practice it today where I was just like, woosah, let me just record when I get home. And naturally, when I get here, it's 55 other things that need my attention. You can see the laundry over here on the side. Like I said, I wanted to do things my way, but I intentionally didn't move it because I'm like, listen, this is real. This is what I'm doing behind the scenes, in front of the camera, behind the camera. It's time for people to start being more transparent about what it really takes to be successful, what it really takes for you to be able to reach your goals and accomplish whatever God asks you to accomplish. It's not a cookie cutter, roadmap that you have to follow. So it's good to have a coach, it's good to have a mentor, it's good to have people that you admire, but God has an individual plan for you, okay? And that leads into the message where he says that you're gonna see. So today's word it says you will see why. Okay, so just like I couldn't record when I wanted to record, I can't do all the things I want to do when I want to do them. I can't be everywhere at every time and be what everybody want me to be. I can't do all of that and stay in God's will. And he said, you will soon see why. Okay. So that just jumped right into what Holy Spirit wanted me to give you guys. And I'm being very intentional about these messages because they are helping me get to my next destination spot of where God want me to be and go within my own journey. So I'm being very intentional about these words. That's why they just come together. I don't really have a 100% game plan when I get on here. I just let Holy Spirit have its way on this laptop, okay? So the same thing with you, just like sometimes we may think we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that in this order and we want to clear that debt first, so we're gonna do this and we're gonna travel that way and we're gonna stop at that gas station and we're gonna do that and we're gonna walk these amount of steps a day. You might have a game plan, but your daddy said be flexible within that game plan because it's possible for you to still do everything he wants you to do within your assignment. You just might have to do the beginning at the end and the end at the beginning. So be flexible. When you're following your daddy, you got to be flexible, okay? Be flexible, meaning that you cannot try to push your kids into a corner. You cannot try to push your husband and your significant other into a corner and say, if you don't do it my way, then you got to go. That's not how that's not how he wants you to do it. He wants you to still have loved ones. He wants you to still have people that support you, that he placed into your life to be your covering. He still wants you to have those people in your life at the end when you see why he had you go that way. So don't be just so dismissive with people, and especially people that can't help, how things work out. Sometimes you might have to say, hey, we might have to stop and feed the babies. We might have to stop and go to this event where we hadn't planned on going to it. So you might have to do your homework later. You might have to get your steps early in the morning versus at the time that you normally get it. So sometimes you got to be flexible when you are going about doing what God asked you to do while you're on assignment. And while you're on assignment, that's the best place for you to be. You might think that it's better for you to be at that family function. You might think it's best for you to be at that baby shower. You might think it's best for you to, pause school and do something else. You might think it's best to be on every scene, be at every cookout. As we say down here in the South, you want to be on every hog killing. You can't attend them all. Like they say for church, don't try to attend them all, but don't miss them all. Okay, so you have to find that happy balance and that flow that works for you, because what works for you may not work for me, and what works for a person that's not married may not work for a person that is married. So that's why it's very important for you to have tunnel vision on what God asks you to do, because sometimes we may get a little distracted when we look too far to our left or to our right, and we may think, well, hey, that sounds good, but then your marriage may fall apart. Then you might say, well, I'm gonna try that, but then your finances be off track, and then you might have extreme headaches trying to fast and do it that way like somebody else. So you really have to find what works for you. And when God said you find what works for you, don't worry about what it looked like to other people, because God gonna ask you to do some stuff that's unorthodox. He gonna tell you to go another way, and other people gonna be like, what is you doing, and why is you doing it that way, and why? Listen, you don't really have time to explain it. If they asking why, they might not be attached to your mission. Let me say that again for the people in the back, okay? If they asking why, they may not be a part of your mission, because people know that when Holy Spirit is working with you, you don't go a traditional route. You don't go just like your neighbor went. You're not going to go the way all your siblings went. You're not going to go the way anybody in your bloodline ever went, because God is doing a great work in you. He's trying to take you a different way, okay? And you're not going to be able to follow suit in whatever people doing and think you about to be successful at doing it. Nobody else know what God placed deep down inside of you except you. So you have to begin to make those decisions and say, listen, I can't attend them all, but I'm not going to miss them all. I can't do everything y'all want me to do. I'm going to be disobedient to my daddy. All right. So let me see where I am, because I hit a whole bunch of points that God already wanted me to hit. Okay, so if you are in a season where you are missing an action, meaning that you can't attend, like for me personally, this resonated home for me, because I'm not going to be able to attend all the end of the school activities. I will be able to go to the awards, but earlier in the season, I missed field day. And field day is very important to me. I always go to my child's field day. And if your school never had it, it's basically where you do a whole lot of like recreational activities, the classes compete against one another, and it's all fun and games. They have popsicles, popcorn, they have bouncy houses and all sorts of things. Water events, tug of war, one class against the next, and it's kind of like you get bragging rights if you win, okay? Within your classes. And then some schools give away rewards and things like that, medals. It's like a big community event. I love community. So that's something I really enjoy. Me and her dad always buy shirts. We invite other people. It's a real whole thing. So this year I was missing an action because I was on God assignment. And he was saying, long as you're mission and action doing what he asked you to do, your children will understand. If you have a partner, if you have a co-parent, if you have a husband or a wife, you might have to have some conversations to say, listen, during this short gap, because it seemed like you missing everything when you seeking a goal that God asked you to do, but it's only a short gap. And during this short gap, I might need you to stand in here in the gap for me. Even though I traditionally may do this and set it all up and get the t-shirts and book the reservations and all of that, you may say, "Hey, listen, I need you to step in to help me out. I need you to help a brother or a sister out during this short gap." And they will be more than willing. They'll be very overzealous to step in and do what you always do, because they want to know, like, I want to be a part of your success. I want to help you. People just don't know how to help you because you such a well-oiled machine. You do it so flawless. People like, child, I don't want to interrupt what you got going on. So sometimes you might have to tag in family, tag in your village, tag in some of your support systems and say, listen, I need a help during this small gap. And they're going to be like, God, these are your people that God has placed in your life to help you. These are people in your bloodline. These are people you met along your journey, and they are there to help you. Okay. But all you have to do is ask. People can't read your minds. God, he did not give us the ability to be mind readers. So we have to communicate with one another. We have to not argue with one another and get frustrated when people don't do what you want them to do when you want them to do it. Okay. So give people ample time to prepare. And like I said, her daddy was able to step in, go to field. They had a great time. He sent me a video. And of course, I was like, oh. I was so sad that I missed it, but I was so glad that I was still able to do what God asked me to do to please him and still be able to get insight from what was happening during that event. So you might be missing the award ceremony. You might miss a occasion. You might miss a baby shower. You might miss, the countdown of something very special in your bloodline, or a traditional log cabin trip, or a flight here with your brothers and sisters, girl night, guy night, whatever it may be. You might miss a few of those, but when you come back out of your season, God said you will see why you had to sit out a couple short events, and then you might be able to come back and just do something way bigger and grander for your family, your bloodline, your friends and your associates, your business partners. You're going to be able to do something great by doing what God asked you to do. He would not ask you to neglect your family. He would not ask you to step away and be ghost for a season. He would not ask you to, do a great thing if he didn't want to use that great thing for his kingdom and to break your generational curses off of your family. So you might be thinking, man, it always be left in my responsibility to do the tough stuff. It may always be in my lap to be the most responsible, to be the most person who got to take the high road all the time. It's very exhausting being that person. So a lot of people might, be like, I'm the chosen one. I'm the chosen one. I'm the generational curse breaker. It is not an easy hat to wear, because it comes with a lot of weight. You know how sometimes in school, or if you've never been to school, but sometimes in school, you may have like some classes that are weighed heavier than others, meaning that some might be worth 4 credits, where the traditional ones may be worth 3 credits. It got a little bit more weight. It requires a little bit more coursework. So in this instance, what God asks you to do, it's heavy. And if you do it the way God asked you to do it, it won't be heavy. It just seems heavy because you're looking at what he asked you to do, and it seems like a mountain. You like, I don't know if I can climb it. But God said he just going to allow you to be able to do what he asked you to do. The mountain will be moved, okay? But you cannot run away, and you cannot feel like you got to people please in this season. It's going to be impossible. Let me say that for myself. It is going to be impossible to people please and make your daddy happy. It's no way, because the way that he's taking you is a non-traditional route. Nobody has traveled this route before. Okay. And my computer is kind of doing something funny. It's going dead a little bit. So you might not be able to attend everything, but God will show you why in the end. And you're going to say, man, if I had known this was on the other side of what God asked me to do, I would have been declined the invitation, stressing myself out, trying to be everything and everywhere to everybody. You're going to be tired, okay? Ask me how I know. As soon as I get off here, I'm just going to take a mental break. And Another thing he wanted me to tell you is that you will see the reward, and it's going to be way more than what you sacrifice. You might have to sacrifice money. You might have to sacrifice time away from your family, time into doing something, doing whatever he asked you to do. It may take dedication, commitment, but it's going to be so big. The outcome, just the accomplishment and the fulfillment of what you're going to do and how it contributes to where he's taking you is going to be big. So don't feel like what he's asking you to give up is big. I know it might seem big right now because you don't know the full scope, but on the other side, you're going to say, oh, I see why I had to give that up. I see why I had to take the night classes. I see why I had to travel long distances. I see why I had to set out that season, that summer had to be not a hot girl or a hot boy summer. It had to be it had to be no temperature. Listen, you just had to stay in the house. You had to be doing what he asked you to do. And you're going to understand that he had a purpose this whole time, and he's going to show you, and you will see why. Okay? So being on God's assignment, like I said before, this is the best thing for you and your bloodline, your children, your generations that's coming after you. What he's asking you to do, it is very strategic. He got a plan of why he's telling you to do that. He got a plan of why you working at that job during the seasons you working at. Don't take everyday things as just normal. It's not normal. It's supernatural things happening. It's people he wants you to engage with. It's going to be some leadership skills and excellent skills inside of you that's going to impact other people and make them rise up to be the leaders, the kings and queens that he birthed them to be, by you coming in a room dressing like you got some sense, dressing and talking to people and handling tough issues, making sure that when you can't be a place, you tell a person in a very respectful time frame. Be very communicative. Be kind to people. Show up in excellence. Have that good character, that integrity. Don't try to be perfect. Sometimes you might be late, but don't make it every day. Sometimes you might have to call out, but don't make it too much. Sometimes you might have to stay late. Don't gripe about it. Just go ahead and do whatever he asks you to do. And it's not going to take you no time to get promoted. It's not going to take you no time to go to your next level and to advancement. That's what eagles do. They start off at the 3rd mile. And then they get comfortable there. Then they go on to the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, all the way up to the 9th mile. And people going to be mad at you because you are going to surpass where they are. But they are stuck in comfort. They are stuck at just doing the bare minimum. They not on assignment. You are. So your daddy said, don't matter how other people get mad at you when you come on a place and you do what God asked you to do. And you don't work just for your supervisor and for that company that's on that shirt. You work for Christ. You represent Jesus everywhere you go. You don't try to be perfect, but you just try to be the best person you can be. And once you do that, you will feel fulfilled. And when you get these rewards, you will feel like I deserve them because I know that I have been doing everything God asked me to do. I've been keeping my mouth shut when other people have tried to intimidate me and talk down to me and be mean to me. I did not indulge in it. I kept going higher and higher and higher. And when you left them at the lower miles, they're going to be mad. But it's okay. You doing what pleases God. You're on his assignment. All right. And it's the best place for you to be. All right. Even though you want people to like you along the way, and you're going to find some people that really support you and love you, but everybody not going to be happy for your success. You already know that. You see that in your life now with your own family, your friends, your associates, people that used to fool with you. They like, you acting funny. No, they just can't handle your success. Everybody not going to be happy about it. But you're not doing this for them, and you're not doing this for a dollar amount. You're doing this for your bloodline. You are there and designed to break people free out of mental prisons. That's your goal. Okay. You are there to be a fisherman of men. You are there to show people what the kingdom look like here on earth. Okay. So God will show you why. If you did it once, you could do it again. So for me, he had me reaching like some educational goals, some physical health goals, mental health goals, spiritual goals, financial goals. I just have things that I'm working on so I can focus on my own business. So when people call my phone talking crazy, I'm like, I'm so focused on my goals. I didn't even know that they said that or that happened. I didn't even know. Let me pray for you. Let me, how can I assist? And you do the things that you are comfortable with doing, but you don't get so caught up in other people drama, because you got to have your own things that you're working on. You be very compassionate. You listen to people. You love people. You try to help people. But all in all, you have to make sure you're focusing on what God asked you to do. Okay? So he said, if you did it once, you cleared that debt, you might have got back in it. But you can get out again. You did it before. You lost the weight. You might have gained it back. But you can lose it again because you did it before. You graduated. You got your undergraduate. You working on your advanced degree. You graduated before. You gonna graduate again. You had children in the past. You may have had a few miscarriages. You may have had some fertility issues, but you gonna have you another one. Okay? God is saying anything that you've done before, you can do it again. And that's also on the flip side. So if you used to be addicted, you could be addicted again. And if you used to talk crazy to people and go 0 to 100, you can do that again. But your daddy is saying, focus on the good stuff that you done. Your graduation, focus on closing on your house. You done got married, or your husband might have ran off. Somebody, you might have just been slipping and talking crazy to your husband and not communicating, like I was saying in the beginning. And somebody else came and swooped in your husband, and he just ran off, with the next Becky or Susan. I don't know. Listen, or your wife. You might have lost your wife. But if God bless you with a wife or a husband before, he'll bless you with one again. So anything that you have done before, God said you are capable. You have the skills, the tools, and the know-how to do it again. Okay? So focus on the good stuff that you have done. So he said you're going to do that again. So when I moved here, I don't know. I've never held on to any other graduation gowns except my previous one. And as soon as I moved here, God said, hang it up on the wall. And I'm like, why would I want to look at this thing every day? Like, that's behind me. But your daddy said, you will see why, right? So now I'm in a season where I need that as motivation, because if I did it once, I can do it again. The same thing with you. So sometimes God may be telling you to do something. Hang that place. Hang this, do that. Go that way. Travel that way. Talk to that person. But you will see why once you do it at a later date. All right. So in November, I had no reason why. I didn't know why he was telling me to hang it up there. I thought it was, I don't know. I thought I was losing my mind. But I hung it up. So now it's relevant of why I had to do that. So he might ask you have done some things in the past and you didn't know why. Okay. But he will soon show you why. And your journey don't look like nobody else's journey. So don't go and get in debt because you want to drive with somebody else driving. Don't you go close on a house just because you think that that's where you about to live. God say you might be international. You don't know where you're going to land up just yet. So don't go and jump and do something that God has not given you permission to do it. Your journey, your credit clearing, when you get your degree, it might take you 10, 12 years. It might have took somebody else 4. That's none of your business. Focus on your things, your credit, your spirit, what you gonna present, how you're gonna talk to people. Don't worry about how other people talking to you. That's not your prerogative. Okay, that's not your problem. What they choose to do, because at the end of the day, each person will be judged according to what they do. So you gotta make sure that you're doing what God has told you to do in every area. Every area. I'm getting to the place now where God is saying, don't worry about people pleasing nobody else. Don't worry about if they please with you. Long as I'm pleased with you, that's all that matters. Okay. And the more you step into that, you'll understand that this walk is an individual journey that you cannot compare to nobody else's. That's why it's really foolish for you to talk about what God talking to you about with some other human, because they don't know you're having a supernatural encounter. All right. So don't compare your journey with nobody else. It will not work, and it won't make sense to them. It's just going to stress you out, because you're going to be like, God told me to go this way. Now you telling me to go that way. No. Tap into what God told you to do, and then get connected with other people who go in the same way God told you to go. Mentors, life coaches, therapists, people in your corner, your support system. They asking too many questions. They probably not a part of it. That's somebody you selected that you want to be in your life, but they ain't a part of where God taking you, because they trying to tell you to go back to your hometown, go back to them drugs, go back to the relationship, go back to overspending money, go back to drinking, go back to doing all that other stuff that you don't do no more. All right. So, work to please God, and he will make your enemies be at peace with you. So like I said, don't worry about how other people talking crazy to you. People come talking crazy out their neck to me. All right. And I just be like, I'm real quiet when those things happen. That's just my coping mechanism. A lot of people, they might snap back, or they may be able to say something intellectually smart or, kind in that moment. I just know for me, I've always been raised, if you don't have nothing cute to say, keep it on mute. Okay. So until I'm able to reflect and think about how I'm going to say what God would have me to say, what pleases his kingdom, what pleases my spirit, because I'm not going to be looking in the mirror at the end of the day, tripping off how I treated somebody else. I'm always going to be slow to speak, okay? Slow to anger. It's going to take a lot to fester that up in me. So when people acting crazy around me, I cannot control these people. When people in the White House doing whatever they're doing, they taking resources, they doing this and stealing that, I cannot control those things. It's foolish for me to think about the things I can't control, how people are behaving, the standards that they have. That's why you have to get connected with coaches and people that's inspiring you to create your own standard. Go another way. Talk to your family and communicate in another way. It might not work for them, but it may work for you, okay? So God is going to make you at peace with your enemies. That's his task. That's not your task. Like I said, to people please. Most of the time, your enemies, they don't see no good in you because God hasn't allowed them to, because they'll take advantage of it. If God allowed them to see it, your enemies to see your good too soon. Okay? So it's a reason why they're not at peace with you just yet. And it's not your job to try to buy them, everything you think gonna make them happy and say whatever you think gonna make them happy. And that's not your thing. Your thing is to be obedient to the assignment. If you stay on assignment, the moment I get off assignment, I know when I get off assignment, because it don't even feel like assignment. When you be on your assignment so heavy, when you get off of it, you immediately can course correct, because you like, I know I'm supposed to be over here. I know I'm supposed to be doing that. I know I didn't stay on the phone with you too long. I know I didn't indulge in gossip, or, listening to too many problems and things like that, because it'll start to disturb your spirit. That's why I said I'm at peace. I'm not going to allow anything to disturb my peace. Okay? So you are at the place now where you can quickly self-correct. I think it's a bug or something here. You are at a place now where you can quickly self-correct. So, your enemies, when you engaging with people that you the energy is a little off, you make sure that you are remembering your assignment, that you're not there to make this other human happy. You're there to do God's will. And as long as you're doing that, you're going to be in the right path. Okay? Love the people who God has entrusted you with. Few will soon turn into many. So basically, how the scripture it says, you be responsible pretty much over a few, and it's going to multiply into many. It's that same thing that God is saying. Focus on the people that he has entrusted into you to inspire, to encourage, to be excellent, to shine your light, to speak positive into those people's lives. If you subscribe to this channel, God has entrusted me to speak to your spirit, to direct you according to where he have you to go, not where I want you to go or where another person wants you to go, where he wants you to go. And when you hear words, you will say, that person is speaking the same language that my spirit understands. That person is telling me that I can't go on my job and act crazy and be late the way everybody else do. I can't go in my family and gossip and turn up and do everything everybody else doing. I know I can't go spending my money if I'm trying to buy this and I'm trying to invest that and I'm trying to keep my website open and I'm trying to start that and I'm trying to do this and pay my annual fees. I can't do what everybody else doing. Okay? It's that type of thing. So you connect with people who are speaking the language that you speak. And God will show you. He will soon show you why you had to make these sacrifices and why he's taking you along this journey that he's taking you along, okay? I hope that you guys were able to get something out of this word. I'm going to go before my computer shut off. And like I said, I'm going to relax and rest, okay? And I just hope that, you guys be able to understand what God was saying in the word today, and that you will see why he's bringing you this way. He's allowing me to speak into your life. He is allowing you to be a part of my journey, for you to see how he works in a person from the bottom up, okay? So no other person can get his glory. No other person can get his fame. Nobody else can get his credit. God is saying he's going to do a great work in me and in you. to show other people that following Christ is the best decision. Being on his assignment is the best decision. People pleasing with him, making him the person you're trying to please. So he can say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Okay, that's what we want to hear. We don't want our cousins and them to be saying, good job. They don't have no heaven or hell to put you in. Okay? Communicate with your support system, with your village, with your people he have in your life. Don't always think you got to be everywhere and do everything and please everybody. It's humanly impossible. You're going to wear yourself out. You're going to tire yourself out. Okay? Continue to do the things to help you self-care, organize your home the best way you know how. Laundry, I like doing it. I just don't like folding it up. And so I guess I just like putting it in the washing machine because the washing machine do all the work. But folding it up and doing all that, that's a goal to me, to have them folded up on the bed. That's something that it doesn't, I really, it's difficult for me. Okay, this may be easy for me, but doing stuff like that is a little challenging. So we all have our strengths and our weaknesses, but don't allow what's not your favorite thing to do to go undone. Still make time and try to make it a joyous experience, even if it's not that easy for you. So if you're nervous about recording, try to make it a joyous experience. Try to pretend you're talking to a friend, or try to just pretend you're talking to Jesus, whatever gets you through the mission. If you're bad at writing papers, write it 3 days. If it take you 3 days to write it, take a day to do the outline, the next day to think about your 3 arguments or your 3 paragraphs that you're going to use. However you break it down so that you get it done. Your daddy is saying this season, you got to get it done, and you will see why. Okay? I love you guys. I really do. Y'all have a blessed and prosperous day. And I'm going to be back giving you guys another mental health motivational word. If this is your very first time on this channel, I'm Coach Jess. I try to inspire you guys and encourage you guys when Holy Spirit give me a message, because he give it to me first. This is all about me, but I'm sharing it with you, okay? Because I'm hoping that you can apply these things to your life so that we can connect with one another. Iron sharpen iron, okay? I love y'all. Subscribe to the video, like the video, comment, turn your notification bells on, do all the things that YouTubers want you to do, okay? I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed and prosperous day. I'll be talking to y'all soon.